Hi, I'm Natasha Jarosak, mid-size law firm marketing manager with Thomson Reuters. Welcome to Leadership in Action, a series of short, timely, and relevant interviews with managing partners on issues important to running a successful mid-size law firm. These podcasts are part of the Managing Partner series presented by Thomson Reuters in affiliation with the Managing Partner Forum. These podcasts are hosted by John Remsen Jr., CEO of the Managing Partner Forum and president of the Remsen Group, an Atlanta-based consulting firm that works exclusively with law firms. In each podcast, John will interview a different managing partner on subject matter revolving around the Managing Partner series topic of the month. Our guest this month is Frank Sheppard, managing partner of Rumberger Kirk Caldwell, an Orlando-based mid-sized firm of just over 80 attorneys. Aside from firm management, Frank focuses his practice primarily in the areas of professional liability, employment, and commercial litigation, as well as handling appellate matters for clients in both state and federal courts. Welcome, John and Frank.
Well, thank you, Natasha, and thank you, Frank, and welcome to our podcast this morning. And our topic is a hot one for mid-size and smaller law firms, and that is marketing and business development. Something that is really coming on strong, and more small and mid-sized firms are recognizing is important to bring to their cultures. We're seeing more firms develop plans, hire marketing directors, and Frank's firm has recently invested some attention to its marketing and business development program. So we're glad to have you here, and we appreciate your willingness to share with others how you've been doing, what you find most successful. And so, Frank, before we get started on marketing, just give us a little background about Rumberger Kirk Caldwell and its history and some of its strategic goals and objectives.
Sure. Thank you for having me, John, and it's a pleasure to be here. Our firm is an historically litigation firm. We're based in Florida. We do have an office in Birmingham, Alabama, and we are more of a regional-based firm in that sense, and we try to focus on a more complex litigation. We have historically been very heavy in the product liability aspect of the business, but have diversified as the firm has grown. And now we really do more and more commercial litigation, trying to do more of a commercial platform as well. The firm was founded by Tom Rumberger, Bud Kirk, and Dick Caldwell in 1978. And we had really gone through some of the succession with our founding partners and continue to do that to some degree. But that's been part of our history. And I think as a consequence of that, marketing became more and more important as the founding partners, switched business over to the younger partners. And as they became a little more advanced in their careers, it became more important for us to have the next generation pick up the torch and do the marketing and start bringing in the business. And that was one of the initiatives for us to really enhance our marketing initiative. So I think our goals would include the importance of diversification, succession planning, and growing the areas of commercial business that we had not been as strong in early on in the history of the law firm.
Now, are your goals set forth in writing? Do you have a firm-wide strategic plan that sort of maps out where you're going, how you're getting there?
It's a work in process, John. I've been, I've been to a couple of your forums, and I've been drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit on the strategic planning, and we are in the process of doing. We started it, and we're having actually our partners retreat coming up in 2 weeks, and we're going to do the next session of our strategic planning session then.
Well, I think you said something important. It is a process. And it's I think more important than ever. Things have gotten really competitive, and I'm a big advocate. Firms of all sizes, come up with a little game plan that sets forth where you're going and put some things in play that are going to get you there instead of just kind of hoping for the best. Now, as part of this evolution of marketing business development at Rumberger, you all hired your first marketer a few years back. And how has that been going? First, how did you convince your partners that it was time to hire a marketing director? And how's it been going as she assumes her responsibilities?
I think, it goes with part of our history in terms of, we needed to step it up and have the next generation of lawyers take on the role of being business developers and rainmakers. And it was a cultural shift in our firm because historically, we had, these senior partners who had been extremely successful in their practices and in developing business, and the rest of us really didn't have to. We didn't have to work too hard because the business was coming in.
You just did the work,
right? And as the founding partners, came into the later part of their careers, it became more important for the next generation, that would be my generation, to start doing it. And as we all know, the legal industry has become much more competitive in recent years, and so it's been very important for us. But I think our continued success has been dependent upon this cultural shift where marketing is a part of the firm's culture. And, like all cultural things in law firms, it starts at the top. And we started there and have worked our way down. Now we have Marissa, our marketing director, and others working with younger lawyers to get them to the point where they're starting to think about marketing at a younger age. They don't wait till they're a partner and then start thinking, oh, I need to start learning how to market. So that's part of what we're doing, is to have marketing and business development part of the culture of the firm at all levels of the firm.
Now, I wish more smaller and mid-sized law firms were where you guys are and recognizing how important this is and investing in their lawyers' skill sets. What was the catalyst for this change? Was it the retirement of one of your big rainmakers? Perhaps you lost a big client, or was it the younger lawyers, you perhaps as firm leader, recognizing, hey, this is something we gotta get better at? What was that catalyst for change?
I think it was a couple of things. I think one, Tom Rumberger was, semi-retired at that point, and he had historically been the biggest rainmaker in the firm in years past. And then, market demands. The market was changing, and you had younger partners that had an interest, and we had some. They weren't. It's not like Tom and Dick and Bud were the only marketers in the firm. We had other senior partners who were coming of age and doing a great job, and I think we built with that base to start the change. It did take work because there's always some inertia in law firms, as you know, and I guess a fear of change. And so, but we did work it. We started slow. It took us a couple of years to get people accepting the idea it was worth the investment in creating a marketing department. And we started with some outside consultants, and then we were able to persuade the partners to buy in, and I think it's been one of the best things we ever did for our firm.
That's great to hear, and I know you have Marissa with you, Marissa Gonzalez. And Marissa, let me invite you to add your comments as to what you saw as the biggest challenge, or the biggest challenges, in implementing this cultural change that Frank talks about.
Well, I think when I came on board, it was getting the attorney buy-in. There were still some skeptics and winning them over. So it was really important for me to build relationships with the attorneys, just like I would tell them to build with their clients. And that's what I set out to do. I didn't worry about a brochure or any of that stuff. I just wanted to get to know the attorneys, get to know their clients, what their goals were, and I just try to build my institutional knowledge that way. And then success breeds success. And I think once a couple people had some success, and other people like, well, okay, let me try that. And now I think, like Frank said, the culture has shifted, and it's part of our everyday language.
Dealing with those skeptics, every law firm has them, and as we all know, our Larry Richard, our psychologist friend, who's involved with our managing partner conference, talks about the lawyer personality, and lawyers don't like change. They don't like risk. They love autonomy and have a high sense of urgency. They're a difficult group to work with and bring to the same page, looking forward, doing things differently. Any tips or secrets you might share as to how you sort of dealt with those skeptics, Marissa, or Frank, if you have comments, because I'm sure you had to run interference from time to time.
We did have, people who, were very skeptical, and I think autonomy. You mentioned that. You do have people that are concerned about giving up control in this sort of thing. So that is another barrier you'll see in most firms. I think is partners that don't really want to give up control, maybe client control, maybe they're concerned about that, and want to hold things too close to the vest. And in our firm, we really try to discourage that, because it's hard to cross-sell within a firm if partners aren't being trustful and collaborative in their approach to practicing law.
How would you assess your cross-selling? Have you been doing some things proactively to sort of promote sharing and teamwork and that spirit of cross-selling, firm first?
Yes, we do, and that's one of our mottos, of course, is firm first. And we, in our firm, we have 5 offices, and we have a sort of a regional footprint. So we use that to sell to clients and bring in business that a firm our size might not otherwise be able to get. We because we're 90 lawyers and but we're mostly litigators, we have more depth than your typical 90 lawyer full service firm, and so we create teams of lawyers who, for not just working the client but also business development. And I think one of the most successful things we've done is actual just client visits and having lawyers from different offices go to visit clients together, or bringing the lawyer who has the long-term relationship with the client, say, who maybe has been a product liability client, have him or her bring the employment partner with him to visit the client to cross-sell. It's easier to do it that way than to go in and say, oh, I'm a great, whatever kind of lawyer, and have your partner help speak for you. Really, it adds some, makes it easier.
So, Frank, congratulations to you. And Marissa, thank you for joining our conversation this morning. Marketing Business Development with Frank Sheppard at Rumberger Kirk Caldwell. And so, Natasha, let me kick it back to you as we close.
Thank you so much, John and Frank. That was a great discussion. And thank you for listening to this edition of Managing Partner Series, Leadership in Action. For more information and resources, visit www.legalsolutions.com/managing-partner.